Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Mehdi. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at my favorite 12 best fragrances for daily use. Daily use fragrances must have two important factors. At first, they have to be long-lasting, at least 7 hours. And at the second, they have to be mass appealing. You don't want to disturb people every day. So without any further ado, I want to start by House of Dior at number 12, Dior Homme 2020 version. It is a citrusy and woody fragrance, opens up fresh and dried on is very soft woody and has a very mature and masculine bossy scent profile. I believe it has also enough character to it, very memorable and inoffensive, I have to say. Lasts on me 7 to 8 hours plus in terms of longevity. Projection and sillage is average for first 2 hours. Number 11, Invictus Platinum from House of Paco Rabanne. One of the most underrated fragrances, I believe, from this house. Gets compliments, lasts very long and has a very memorable and appealing scent profile. It is aquatic, slightly sweet, sugary, fresh with some sort of green feel at the background of the fragrance or at the top at the first 30 minutes. I really enjoy scent profile of this fragrance and stands out for me. Lasts 10 hours plus, solid, strong 10 hours with 2-3 hours, good projection and sillage. Number 10, Cedrat Boise from House of Montserrat, one of the top sellers from this house. It is a citrusy, sweet, fresh and slightly creamy woody fragrance that has weight to it because of leather and patchouli. Actually, patchouli is much more prominent compared to leather here. I would say it is not a safe, like bright, very clean citrusy fragrance. Not for everybody, but smells definitely clean in the air and gets compliments. Lasts on me 12 hours plus easily in terms of longevity, and projection and sillage is allowed for first 3 hours. Number 9, Mon Guerlain Explorer. It is a citrusy and woody fragrance also. It is metallic, slightly dry, let's say drier version of Creed Aventus. You can get highly inspirations here, but not identical, as it has leather and ambroxan at the base of the fragrance. Also, you can get some sort of spicy, peppery vibe from the fragrance. Smells very complex, mass appealing and inoffensive. Personally, I can get a solid longevity with this one, like 10 hours plus easily, but projection and sillage is very soft and transparent with this one, like for first 2 hours, a great fragrance for indoor situations. Number 8, Le Male Parfum by Jean-Paul Gaultier. I believe somehow it is too sexy or too fancy for daily use title. It is better for daytime, night out situations, but yeah, I can see myself wearing this one every day because it has a strong character, it is memorable, it is like signature scent type of fragrance, and it is extremely appealing, sexy and inviting, inoffensive type of fragrance. It is herbal, sweet and slightly powdery with great amount of sweetness, I have to say, at the base of the fragrance, and it is very thick and long lasting. I can get like 10-12 hours plus longevity, and projection and sillage is average for first 2-3 hours. Number 7, Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. The regular version, it has a few flankers and different versions, which I believe this is the best for daily use, as it is milder and less inoffensive in terms of scent profile. I believe, for example, if you go by Absolutely or Stronger With You Intensely, you're gonna be a bit offensive for everyday use, as it is too loud and a little bit more daring in terms of scent profile compared to this one. This one is like woody, chestnutty, sweet and slightly very little inoffensive, smoky like burnt woody. Lasts on me 7 to 8 hours maximum, let's say good 7 hours, and projection and sillage is average for first hour, hour and a half, and gets solid compliments. Number 6, Wave EDP by Yves Saint Laurent. In the brief, it is a dark and fresh fragrance, opens up citrusy, gingery, sour, and has some sort of carbonated and fizzy vibe to it, and at the dry down gets more woody and somehow rooty, let's say. It has a very lady pleaser and mass appealing scent profile. Lasts on me solid 7 hours plus, and projection and sillage is good for first 2 hours. Now we are at top 5, going fast. Bleu de Chanel EDP at number 5. Smells like class in a bottle. Extremely high quality and legit fragrance, I have to say to this one. It is complex, it is fresh and dark also. Opens up like grapefruity, shower jelly, let's say to this one. You cannot pick some type of citruses or fruits that much in this fragrance. It is very well balanced and complex. Some sort of like melonish vibe, also very little at the background. I can get little bit, very little jasmine, but it is not a floral fragrance. And at the dry down gets incensey and darker. A great versatile fragrance for all season, all occasion, dressed up, casual, but leans little bit more dressed up, has that classy vibe, stands to it. I have to say, with this one I get like 7 hours, max barely 8 hours in terms of longevity. And projection and sillage is average and very inoffensive for first 2 hours. Number 4, Versace Dylan Blue. I want to be honest with you, it doesn't smell as high quality, as classy as Bleu de Chanel. I prefer that scent profile better. It is definitely not wow, not groundbreaking, but for whatever reason gets like 2 times more compliments compared to Bleu de Chanel. But as I said, it is not wow or very outstanding something. It is also a shower jelly fragrance. It is also well balanced, but has more darker notes compared to the Bleu de Chanel. Let's say it is like salty, incensey, and dark at the dry down because of patchouli, incense, and ambroxan. It is heavier on ambroxan. You cannot detect ambroxan in the Bleu de Chanel, for example. Lasts on me 10-12 hours plus. Older batches and newer batches last like 8 hours. Still good, I have to say, and projection and sillage is great for first 2-3 hours. Number 3, Dior Sage EDP. Still I like it, still gets the job done and gets compliments for sure. It is a modern and extremely masculine fragrance. It is dark and fresh also. At the top it is citrusy because of bergamot. It has a very sour opening, I have to say, and a green lavendery backbone. And black pepper is there, gives to fragrance an aggressive stance. Let's say it bites a little bit, and ton of ambroxan at the base. I can get 10-12 hours plus longevity with this one. It is a solid lasting and projecting fragrance. I have to say like 2-3 hours, great projection and sillage, especially in the breezy days. Projects like crazy. Number 2, one of my absolute favorite fragrances, Givenchy Wave. When it comes to the compliments, performance, and that lady pleasing factor. So scent profile is citrusy, creamy, oceanic, with a little bit of vetiver woodiness at the base of the fragrance, but it is mostly in that I can say creamy and oceanic citrusy side. Reminds me of Chanel Allure Sport Eau Extreme, but compared to that fragrance, this is more creamy and less powdery, which I prefer this one because it is less powdery. I'm not that much into powdery notes, and is more citrusy, I have to say. This one lasts 10 hours plus, and in terms of pricing, it is way cheaper compared to the Chanel fragrances. And projection and sillage is good for first 2-3 hours. Without any further ado, number 1 by Giorgio Armani, Acqua di Gio Profumo. I know recently has been discontinued. It is a bit difficult to find this one right now. If you cannot find this one, go buy Parfum version. It is closer compared to other versions to the Profumo. But I would suggest you still go after this one. This is way better compared to the Parfum, as it is more complex. Definitely. And I like the incense note at the dry down of this fragrance. They give that dark dry down with patchouli here. I am more into that incensey, outstanding and mind-blowing, let's say, dry down of this one. How is the scent profile? If you haven't smelled it, it is one of the most well-balanced and appealing scent profiles I've ever smelled. It is like slightly aquatic, mostly in that herbal and floral side, with incensey, darker dry down, I have to say, to this one. Just mind-blowing. Lasts on me 12 hours plus. It is a concentrated fragrance. It is Parfum concentration, and projection and sillage is 10 out of 10 for first 3 hours. Take care, guys.